I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy.
Poor man cannot spend his $10 million.
Completely out of touch, and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
Put simply, our healthcare system is trash, and people find it so trash that they have no issue with what suspect Luigi Mangione did in the assassination of the United Healthcare CEO. While some have turned this into a political issue and left versus right, I see this as a true case of human rights issues. Because truly, this is one of the things that both parties can relate to. When I talk to my friends on the right about this issue, none of them are surprised that that this happened when they realized who was actually shot. And then I talk to my friends on the left, there are some of them that are gleeful about what happened, but they have very little empathy. And the fact that both the left and the right are kind of like collectively like shrugging their shoulders to this issue tells me that this is a little bit deeper than we may realize. And some people have mentioned Daniel Penny, the guy that was found not guilty for killing a black man on the subway. We're gonna get into that whole case in another video, so be sure to subscribe. In this video though, we're going to discuss and react to all the things going on with Luigi and United Healthcare and do a deep dive into it all. And as a reminder, if you like this type of content, be sure to subscribe. It helps the channel grow a ton. And for the regulars here on the channel and all my subscribers, I am in a different area. I'm in my new house. I bought a house, so I'm working on filling up the studio. And I love to have some of your artwork, so be sure to submit some stuff to my PO box link below, mail some stuff there, and I will be sure to have it displayed somewhere here. Who is Luigi Mangione?
Down.
Luigi, back up. That's completely out of touch, and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
All right, so there's a ton, and I mean a ton of information being dropped about this guy. Every day, every second goes by. Even right before I started filming this video, there's just something new dropping. At that, it is hard to verify what's true and what's not, which manifesto is real, which video is real, and all that. So let's just lay out what we do know for certain. He grew up in an extremely wealthy family. He went to one of the best private schools in the nation and graduated as valedictorian. He has both his bachelor's and his master's in computer science, and he graduated from UPenn. He had a bad surfing accident, and he ended up hurting his back and having to get back surgery, which that may play into this a little bit, but we'll dive into that later. And as of most recently, he went missing. Like, even his family marked him as missing, but for 3 to 4 months, he just went off the grid, which that sends tinfoil hat Amir, like, what is really going on here? That's what we've gathered so far, so let's just get into some news clips and let's just chat about this.
After not being seen for 6 days, there he was, just eating.
Okay, first off, everybody, and I mean everybody, has been talking about, admittedly, how fine this man is. Now, two things can be true. You can be very attractive, but also do something very wrong and cold-blooded. He did do something wrong. He does deserve to be in jail. It's just hilarious that the guy is that attractive and did all this. Not what he did, but I will give grace to everybody making the jokes and the memes. Like, the memes and jokes are warranted. Look at him.
Out at McDonald's.
So overnight, we know there were late night charges filed out of New York. These were those murder charges that we are anticipating, most notably, but several other charges also filed out of New York. We're waiting on an extradition hearing to happen in Pennsylvania so that Luigi Mangione will be taken to New York. But at this current point in time, he's at this prison right here behind us.
So yeah, as of right now, as it stands, Tuesday, December 10th at 6 o'clock, he has been charged for murder among a list of other charges, and that's what we have so far. What's up, everybody? I'm sitting here on my couch editing the video. Here's Ollie boy, such a cute boy. I'm still unpacking my house and everything, but I'm posting this video now on Thursday, December the 12th, and I want to give you a quick update on things that have been going on that I found as of editing this video and putting my finishing touches. As you see here, fingerprints matched between Luigi Mangione and the prints found at the scene of the United Healthcare CEO killing report. Now, this is interesting because when I recorded this, people were still in debates of like whether this was him or not, and then even his lawyer was like, oh, there's not enough evidence to prove that it was him. I think clearly we got our guy. Like, even from the left, the center, the right, they're all pretty much, they're being pretty fair with this case. One thing I did notice is that the left highlighted how the friends and family are confused about the alleged actions. It seems to be really likely the right isn't talking about the friends and family at all. This seems to be likely. I don't know how else they get away from this. This was updated 3 hours ago. No, last updated an hour ago. So yeah, insane things are happening. And people always ask me, Amir, where do you get your news? Who do you trust? Ground News is my source. They are my go-to for everything news related. It's very easy to read, love the functionality of it. So if you want to get involved, you want to sign up for Ground News, be sure to click the link below or tap the QR code here on the screen. And yes, it is available for people outside of the United States. You just go up here to this edition. You can tap international, UK, Canada, Europe. You can always get the news that matters to you. Additionally, utilizing their Vantage plan, which is the plan that I have, you can have access to Blind Spot. Now, Blind Spot, I go through this every single morning. You can see everything that the left isn't talking about, but the right is. On the other side, you can see everything that the left is talking about, but the right isn't. That way you can always be grounded in the news and really see, what's not being shown to you. I go through this every single morning. Some quick examples. The left isn't talking about this as much, but the right is. Jimmy Kimmel Labs shares staffers text about CEO killer being hot. I mean, it makes sense. More of the left are saying how like he's hot and he's attractive, and the right is kind of fraying away from that. They can acknowledge it, but it is the left really hyping up about how Luigi is low-key like fine as hell. And then when you look at the right, what they aren't talking about, but the left is, boom, right here, Israeli forces responsible for a third of 54 journalists killed in 2024. The left is talking about that, but the right isn't, because mainly, really, it's the right that has the close ties with Israel. And it's reasons like that that I love Ground News and I love Blind Spot specifically, because I'm able to see the things that I'm commonly not shown. And of course, they got a great deal for you. Utilizing my link below or tapping the QR code here on the screen, you can get 50% off their Vantage plan, which is the best deal of the year. And yes, you can send a gift. You can give somebody a subscription, which I'm doing that a ton to my family and friends this holiday season. I'm gifting them subscriptions to Ground News because I want them to stay grounded. I want them to get the news from a fair source. So again, you can save 50% off using my link below or tapping the QR code here on the screen. And you can also gift us, whether it's for you or someone else. It's a great opportunity to give someone a chance to look at the news differently, because I know for me and a lot of you guys out there will never look at the news the same again. So with that being said, let's get back to Luigi.
An official with the Department of Corrections, she told us that overnight he is being held in isolation here at this prison. He had no incidents to report overnight, and he is being held in a maximum custody level at this current prison facility. Now, when it comes to the arrest itself, you mentioned it. He was sitting and eating at a McDonald's. A witness and an employee saw him.
Which, it's so strange to me. Like, how is this guy so smart to pull all this off, not be tracked at all, but then we'll just be sitting at a McDonald's with the gun and Manifesto and everything just on him? That doesn't make any sense to me. And side note, why do we know more information about Luigi? We've seen everything about him, know everything about him, and the media is like so hooked on him, but like not on Thomas Crooks, the guy that, literally shot Trump. That alone deserves another video. Maybe I should make a whole video just dedicated to Thomas and how sketchy that whole thing was, because again, just the sheer amount that we know on Luigi versus Thomas and how the media is treating this scenario, that too, red flags going off.
There, I mean, you can imagine obviously the cameras and the lights and all of the press and everything there as you saw him. What was his demeanor like, and what is the very latest that you know here coming out of this important press conference?
Sure thing, Aaron. Well, yeah, I'll say just about an hour ago, I was there inside that courthouse watching as Luigi Mangione walked right past myself and a number of other reporters. He was wearing a blue shirt, blue jeans. He was, of course, handcuffed, and he looked, even in this court appearance, visibly distressed, but he kept his brow furrowed through the duration of this arraignment hearing. And I should say what was interesting, though, Aaron, is you said we haven't heard a statement from the suspect. He did actually speak inside of that courtroom to the judge and to all the folks who were in there. But it was on very selective issues, and I'll just kind of go through what we heard. The judge asked Luigi Mangione a number of questions, first about his identity. So Mr. Mangione confirmed that that is his real name. He initially said that his residence was in Maryland, but then the judge actually pressed him on that, and then he said, actually, I have lived at various addresses, before then ultimately giving an address in Honolulu, Hawaii. Then he also said that he has worked for 3 years as a data engineer up until about a year ago.
What's strange to me, really, with this right now is that and again, this is as of recording Tuesday, the 10th. There are still people that are like, no, this isn't him. This isn't the guy that shot, the healthcare, the CEO. But Luigi's being this cooperative. He's Apparently has a manifesto, which we're going to read later. This seems like the guy.
And he also told the judge that he has no drug or mental health problems that the court needs to know about. But Aaron, one of the most interesting parts of that particular hearing was actually his statements after the conversation about bail. The prosecutors basically stepped up there and made the case why they believe that this man should be held without bail. They mentioned that he is awaiting potentially an arrest warrant coming from New York City as one of the major reasons. But they also said that prosecutors noted that they found him with $8,000 in U.S. cash, $2,000 in foreign currency, his passport, and also a Faraday bag, which is basically a bag designed to stop transmission of cell service or other sort of things like that. At the end of his speech, the prosecutor's speech, Luigi Mangione said, I actually want to address two of the things that you said. He said, I don't know where that money came from. I'm not sure if it was planted. And then he also said that that bag was waterproof. And the term that the prosecutors used when discussing the Faraday bag, the ghost guns, the 3D printed silencer, was the prosecutors used a phrase saying this is criminal sophistication. Luigi Mangione said, I don't know about any of this criminal sophistication when addressing that. But it's just interesting, Aaron, that of all of the things that were mentioned in that court appearance, the two that he noted or took issue with was the currency and then that bag. That
is interesting. Like, you felt that, see, this is why I'm like, it definitely, to me at least, it seemed like to be him. He's correcting the courtroom on the Faraday bag, which was just a waterproof bag, which they do look very similar. They're just like very like thick bags, so that makes sense. And then the cash, I don't know, we know your family come from money. And we know you're on the run, and we know cash would make the most sense to use. So it being planted, I don't know. And apparently his manifesto dropped, the actual real manifesto from him. So let's read and see what he had to say. To the feds, I'll keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I say plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. This was fairly trivial, some elementary social engineering, basic, had a lot of patience. The spinal notebook, if present, has some straggling notes and to-do lists that eliminate the grist of it. My tech is pretty locked down because I work in engineering, so probably not much info there. I do apologize for any strife or traumas, but it had to be done. Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming. He's referring to the healthcare leaders and healthcare industry. A reminder, the US has the #1 most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly 42 in life expectancy. That is a true statement. We have the most corrupt healthcare industry, and I'm not condoning anything, but just sharing like the facts of the matter. We do have the most expensive healthcare system in the world, and we are becoming some of the most sickest, at least for like a first world country, and to spend this amount of money, we're becoming the sickest. So that's that. And United, it's indecipherable, but United Healthcare is the largest company in the US by market cap, behind only Apple, Google, and Walmart. It has grown and grown, but as our life expectancy, no. The reality is these indecipherable have simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. Obviously, the problem is more complex, but I do not have space, and frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument. But many have eliminated the corruption and greed, wrote this off more decades ago, and the problem simply remains. It is not an issue of awareness at this point, but clearly power games at play. Evidently, I'm the first to face it with such brutal honesty. So again, I have to keep saying it because people just forget about like nuance and exploring topics and having conversations. I don't condone the guy killing another guy. I don't condone anything harmful acting, but I mean, he gave his reason. The healthcare industry is very corrupt, it's very blown out, and politicians keep saying they're going to do something about it. And I really hope Trump does, especially with RFK and, Tulsi Gabbard and all the people on this cabinet. But it is corrupt and people are dying. And that's why you have so many people who don't care that this happened, and even going as far as celebrating it because, okay, as far as, I'm trying not to do like the whole left versus right thing, but the people that are like, no, this is so wrong. How can you ever celebrate somebody for killing somebody? Yes, that's wrong. But on the flip side, you have people saying, yeah, but that person that died is responsible for a company and becoming rich off a company that denies claims that in turn kills people. So off the bat, like that's why I feel like things aren't even adding up, because you're saying this one person shooting this one person is bad, yes, but then others are saying, well, no, because this one person shot and killed somebody who has, by proxy, I guess, like killed way more people. That's where it's at right now. It's not as cut and dry as someone killing a stranger and everyone's like, yes, killer. It's like, no, the person Like, Luigi didn't kill a stranger. He killed somebody who's normally walking around with security, who makes $1 million off the healthcare industry, who was responsible for a lot of things that, you know, lead down the tunnel of thousands of people dying. So, again, not condoning it, but that sheds light on why this guy is a little bit different. And I'm not putting this case, at least, on the same pedestal as when people were celebrating Thomas Cook's almost killing Trump. No, that's awful. Completely wrong. And so is this case, but there is more nuance and there's more, like, the fact that, again, that collectively the left versus the left and the right, everyone's kind of like, Like, I get it. And that guy walked around with security as it is, there's reasons behind it. United Healthcare impact.
Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, was murdered by a masked man with a silencer. And as the media described it, appears to be a professional hit. Yeah, that's right. The media cannot stop talking about how beautiful the shot was. And after they put out the picture of the man who did the shooting, the internet couldn't stop obsessing with how beautiful his smile was. But this is a very serious crime. A man was murdered. A man who's CEO of a company with the most claims denied out of every single other health insurance company. That's right. Most, 1/3 of the claims that are made with United Healthcare are denied. So it makes you wonder how many countless people have died as a result of Brian Thompson.
Like, I'm just trying to show to some people, because some people really are saying, I don't understand when people are celebrating this. I don't understand people are okay with this. I'm in the camp that's wrong. We shouldn't be going out here with violence. But I'm not going to be ignorant. I'm not going to ignore why people feel that way. Like, I'm trying to explore to all sides. I'm trying to really dive deep into why it's a common psyche of people just like, whatever. And this is why. Because, again, it's not like the guy was some random dude on the street that got shot and killed. No, it's the guy that's responsible for a company that has thousands of lives on them.
The United Healthcare CEO dying is tragic and horrible. In fact, let's take a look at some of the other horrible things that have happened to people. Last year, 2 elderly people insured by United died. They were denied life-saving coverage by United because the company used an AI model with a 90% error rate to determine the claim.
I've looked into this whole AI model thing, and it's just something apparently what's happening is there's lots of lawsuits going on around that right now. But yeah, like what she's talking about, there have been people denied and who ultimately end up dying as a result of certain tools and automation.
A college student insured by United racked up $2 million in medical debt to treat a severe medical issue. He said the company intentionally ignored a report that said this treatment was medically necessary. A man's $140,000 heart surgery wasn't covered by United at all because they said that he used a type of injection that wasn't medical.
And people are coming out in droves talking about their experience at United Healthcare, the biggest healthcare companies out there, and how wronged they've been by them and all the debt they've been thrown in by them, because insurance really is, I think, low-key a scam. Like, you're paying so much a month. They have enough money to be covering people, especially when the CEO, they're getting paid $10 million.
Patients recovering from strokes and falls, often elderly, were denied nursing care from United and were often only covered for half the time needed to recover. Now, United's claim denial rate is one of the highest in the industry at 32%. An insurance company's biggest expense is what it pays out in claims. If it denies more claims, it pays out less, and then it gets to keep more profits. Now keep that in mind when I tell you that United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is one of the highest paid CEOs in the industry, taking home about $10 million last year. So it is sad that this poor man cannot spend his $10 million. Sad that a man who achieved the American dream by causing thousands of Americans to die each year from preventable causes because of a lack of health insurance coverage, it's sad that he got shot. What does that say about society? That nobody who makes money off of people dying is safe anymore? If we want change, we must nicely ask for it. Just like when we nicely ask for health coverage and it gets denied. On a serious note, it is morally wrong to celebrate the death of someone. But we also have a moral responsibility with our one life on this earth to look out for each other and to care for each other.
And this girl clearly condones it, and she's giving her input and her perspective on why she thinks it's fine. I don't condone it, but I do understand why it could have happened and why that guy was in danger. They said he was beginning threats as it is. He normally has security, but he didn't that morning. Some weird stuff. But something is to be said for the sheer amount of profits that are taken home, the sheer amount of claims that are denied. And remember, it's all a business at the end of the day. That's why I personally don't think there'll ever be a cure to cancer, because the cancer industry is way too big. That's just me. It's all a business. It's all about profits. And even going back to my other video I talked about Big Pharma, it's so deep and it's so ingrained even to our cereal. Why does food in America have so many more chemicals that do actually make us more sick, but those same chemicals aren't being used overseas because they make us sick? Is it because over here they can get away with it and get more profits? Ding, 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 ding. It's a whole mess, y'all. It really is. And this industry does need to be revised and need help. But killing the guy is not going to do it. It's really not. They're just going to replace him. Yes, more people are brought to the forefront and more people are aware of what's going on with how the scammy the industry is. And even the dude mentioned that in his manifesto, like, this really isn't going to change that much. I don't think the CEO should have been shot and killed. But I see why the man has security to begin with. I mean, let's be real here.
I do believe in the sanctity of life. And I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Seriously?
I mean...
Joy at a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Of Americans that be murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people. And the many millions of Americans that have watched people that I care about suffer and in some cases die because of lack of health care.
Wait, she's getting so much flack for this. Like, being joyful over someone dying, wrong word, you shouldn't be saying that. But for anyone that's that shocked or surprised that people don't have more empathy for the guy, and people, again, when they find out who was shot and killed, they're like, oh, duh. Like, can we actually have conversations about what's going on, please, instead of running to the left or the right, or you need empathy for this and you should feel bad for this? It's like there's lots of different layers when it comes to certain issues, and instead of just jumping to the black or the white, sometimes it is okay to look at the gray areas and just examine it. So far as of December 10th, that's where we're at with this story right now. If some major stuff goes on, I'll be sure to update you guys later on. Be sure to subscribe and to stay updated. We'll be talking about the Daniel Penny story. I have a lot of words about that. But as far as Luigi goes and United Healthcare and the whole nine, I understand how something like this happened. I don't condone it. I think it's bad, but I also implore people to just keep looking into everything for themselves and really trying to understand why a certain group feels a certain way. That way you can in turn learn and see how to better have a conversation with somebody, because growing this political divide and keep going towards the left versus the right, that's not going to bring us together. Is being gleeful and joyful about someone dying aiding that? No, that isn't either. But in order to have conversations, you need to have conversations with these people. You have to see where they're coming from and then kind of break down how they're viewing the world, why they feel the way they feel, and then try to help come up with the solution to tackle it a different way. It is possible to have conversations with these kinds of people. That's where I'm hopeful that that's where I land. When it comes to a case like Daniel Penny and the left saying, oh my gosh, he killed a black man, that's so horrible and that's wrong, that's different than this case to me. I'm sorry, it just is. And then the whole Thomas Crooks thing, that's different too. When there's a shared feeling, a shared expression from all sides, that's when I really like to dive into it, understand like, okay, I see more people on the right not being gleeful about it, not condoning it, but they are like, man, I get it, I'm seeing a lot of that. I don't see that with the Daniel Penny. I don't see that with the Thomas Crooks. Those are other videos. But in this video, I did like to explore, one, what did Luigi do? Why is he doing this? What attention is he trying to draw? And then how scammy is United Healthcare and what are they doing? And what did the CEO have to benefit? It's interesting to see, interesting to learn. If you like this video, be sure to share it. Subscribe for more content is on the way. Thank you guys for all the support. I can't believe I'm in my house. Like, I bought a house. Oliver has a yard. There's so much to do. I have to furnish this room. But yeah, thank you guys for the support. I appreciate it more than you know. And as always, I hope that you understand, know, and trust that you can become anything you wish to be on this planet. You have to strive towards it. use tunnel vision and go after your goals and dreams, and you will achieve them. Yeah, just where life is right now versus where it was 10, 15 years ago is completely different, and it's out of my wildest dreams, and I've worked hard for it. And not even before YouTube, I've worked hard for it. When I was working my 9 to 5 and raises and bonuses, like truly, if you focus on you and only you, you will succeed. Don't be blindsided by other people bogging you down or being jealous of this person, or you know, you're not on the same timeline as other people. Just keep doing you and you will get there. So with that being said, thank you all for being here. I love you guys a ton. Shout out to all my Patreon members. Thank you for the love and support. Christmas cards are on the way. Tons have been sent out. There are, you know, still some being signed. It's a lot, y'all. Oh my goodness, it's a lot, but they're on the way out. Thank you guys for the support. More updates to the studio coming soon. And I will see y'all in the next video. Deuces.